Hello there. I hope everyone's having a really good Saturday. The Penguins decided to make a flurry of moves on this July 16th. Both moves occurring when I'm just basically doing things. The first one, I'm just at the pool with my girlfriend hanging out. Phone starts buzzing. I'm like, all right, what the heck's going on here? Second one, playing a video game tournament. So I had to basically stop doing that and get to the bottom of everything that happened. But the first one, obviously, John Marino to the New Jersey Devils for Ty Smith and a third round pick. When I originally saw it, I was like, wow, that's it. Because I figured, you could get a decent haul for someone like Marino. But, you know, I think there's a couple of ways, how this trade can work in the Penguins' favor. Smith, he was outstanding his rookie season in New Jersey. Didn't play that well last year, but I feel like the Penguins, they're banking on his development being really good in year three with a new system with Mike Sullivan and Tar Reardon. Remember, I almost forgot about this a little bit. Mike Matheson, his underlying numbers were not that good when he was originally acquired in the Patrick Hornquist trade. And, Tar Reardon, he did a lot of work with him. And I think Matheson even said multiple times in these last couple of seasons that Reardon was, one of the best coaches he's ever had and that he helped him turn around his game in so many ways. So I think the Penguins are banking on that same thing happening here. The other thing is, Smith, he has the potential to be very, very good. You look at hockey prospecting with, how he ranks according to their models. And, for full comps for NHL probabilities, number one is Scott Niedermayer, number two, Michael Delzato, number three, Tyson Berry, number four, Paul Coffey, number five, Dougie Hamilton. In terms of star probabilities, I got Ryan Ellis in there, Cam Fowler, Zach Bogosian. But, this is, compared to Marino, which, the full comps for NHL probabilities, Brandon Davidson, Tucker Pullman, Kimo Tiemann, and John Klingberg. I think I would rather have the full comp of Smith than Marino. And, you can put him on the second pairing. They're probably, I think, going to put him on the third pairing and let him cook with a veteran next to him, whether that's, Chad Ruedel, Jan Ruda, whoever. I think that's going to be a big benefit to Smith, especially playing in a whole different system. And, that's where the Penguins are hoping to win this trade. If Smith can be as good as some of these models are projecting him to be, the Penguins are going to easily win this trade. But if he continues to regress and say Marino does find a little bit of his offensive game in New Jersey, then the trade is not going to look as good. I was hesitant to move Marino because I wanted to, I guess, be blown away by an offer for him. I'm definitely not blown away by this one, but if Smith pans out, this trade is going to work really well in the Penguins' favor. And he's definitely, I think, going to be in their top six next year. I know they have 9 defensemen right now, but I would be very stunned if Smith is not in the lineup on an every night basis. He has tools that you can't teach. His puck moving ability is top notch, has a wonderful shot. Exiting the zone is beautiful, with zone entries, very, very good. Sure, his play in the defensive zone is a bit lacking, but he also was partnered with PK Subban last year. I mean, PK at this point, he's not the top 5 talent that he once was, 5 to 6 years ago or something like that. So, I definitely think the Penguins, again, they're hoping that a fresh change of scenery will do wonders for him. He's not being coached up by Lindy Ruff anymore, who somehow, some way is still with the New Jersey Devils. So I think, right now I'm still a little bit sour on it just because, I probably wouldn't have traded him for Marino, that is, for a future and a player who I guess is a little bit of an unknown. But again, if that player does become a player that I think a lot of people are expecting him to be, the Penguins are going to win big, I think, with this trade. Remember, Marino only had 2 goals in his final 118 games here with the Penguins. His offensive game just was never coming out. Basically, I think, we've all been waiting and waiting and waiting for that to happen. And it never did for whatever reason. He played with multiple partners like Matheson, Pettersson, et cetera, et cetera. So, maybe that happens in New Jersey. I wish all the best for him. I hope he kills it out there. But, it was obvious, when this offseason started that, I just don't know. I didn't think that Ron Hextall felt as strongly about Marino as Jim Rutherford did. now, which leads us into our next trade. And I think he kind of felt the same with Mike Matheson. I get that alert about how was it, hour and a half later that basically the Penguins, they're trading for Jeff Petry. And, I talked about that on an episode about a little over a week ago when Dale Kovacevic of DK Pittsburgh Sports said that, there was a trade involving Jeff Petry that fell through the last minute of the NHL draft. So I guess they were finally able to make that work. Petry comes over, 3 more years left at $6.25 million. Mike Matheson goes out. I know the Penguins also get a forward in return. I think he's Ryan Poehling. I think he's basically just I'm not going to call him a throw-in. He's still relatively young, but I think at this point he's just a third or fourth liner. His underlying metrics are not that good, but also he hasn't really played that much. But looking at it from a strict defenseman trade standpoint, I think the Penguins are banking on Matheson never having the kind of season that he just had ever again. And I think they're hoping that Petry can continue to, put up some really good numbers. When Marty St. Louis took over last season in Montreal, Petry had almost a point per game the rest of that season on one of the worst teams, if not the worst team in the NHL, 21 points in 30 games. This is still, you look at Jay Fresh's model, projected wins above replacement, 79th percentile, even strength offense, 89th percentile, 97th percentile among finishing. Only 3% of his peers are better with that. Goals for per 60, 90 percentile, penalties, 79%, teammates, 76%. He's not that good on the power play at this stage of his career. Penalty kill, not really, but he has a lot of really good numbers. Yeah, is he 34? Yes, of course, but he is still a really good player. And when you look at the defensive pairings now, I think what they're going to do: Dumoulin, Letang, Pettersson, Petry, Ty Smith, Jan Ruda. That right side is pretty nasty. And honestly, when you look at that top four, there aren't many top fours in this league that I would take over that one. And I think in their division they probably have arguably the best top four. And I think at the lowest I would put it as number 2. In my opinion. I think people are underrating Petry at this point in his career. He was really good last year for Montreal, and he's been great ever since going to the Canadians. I thought the world of Mike Matheson. I did not think that he was going to get traded. That's for sure. I said it a couple episodes ago. I thought 2 defensemen were going to get traded. I just did not think that 2 defensemen were going to be coming back in those trades. I said it was going to be one of probably Mourinho, Pettersson. I got one of them right. I did not think for an instant that, Matheson was going to be traded. I'm a little bit thankful that they got out of that term, 4 more years left at, the cap that he has. And sure, they added 3 years left at 6.25, 6.3 million for Petry. But, I think the Penguins, they had a net gain there. And I think right now, when you look at their defensive core compared to last year, I think this one, what you're looking at now with the 9 defensemen they have, is better than the one that finished that playoff series against the Rangers. And I think one of the biggest things here from Ron Hextall was that, I think he was probably a bit miffed that they blew those leads 3 consecutive games where they had the knockout punch right there and they couldn't, put it away. I think maybe he was a bit upset about the defense with that, but I also think he recognized that they needed to get a bit heavier on the back end. And I said this on Friday. I said this on my Thursday episode. People are going to be afraid to admit it, but the Penguins lacked size on their back end. Sure, did they get a little bit older with a few of these moves? Yeah, they did. But I also think they gained a heck of a lot more size. And, they also have one elite puck mover, I should say, on all 3 pairings, which is what I have wanted for this defensive core, for a long time. Top pairing, you have Chris Letang. He can do what he does. Your second pairing, you got Jeff Petry. He is also one heck of a puck mover. On the third pairing, Ty Smith. If he pans out, he is also one heck of a puck mover. And then you can put Marcus Pettersson. He does the defensive work. Brian Dumoulin, if he bounces back, he can do the defensive work. Jan Ruda, he's also really solid defensively too. Behind him, you have Trevor Riedel, P.O. Joseph, Mark Friedman. Again, I probably think one of these guys is going to get traded before training camp. I do not believe for a second that Ron Hextall is going to take 9 defensemen into the season. I don't think Mike Sullivan will be comfortable with that himself. Maybe POJ goes back down to Wilkes-Barre. Who knows? But right now, when you ask me, The defense, 3 elite puck movers on each pair, 3 pretty good defensive defensemen on each pair. And I think that is what Ron Hextall and Mike Sullivan were going for when they were discussing potential changes to the defensive core this offseason. Now, I know what everyone's going to say. Well, what about the bottom 6? And trust me, it is far from a finished product. You have 2 good lines right now with Gensel, Crosby, Rust, maybe Zucker, Malkin, Raquel. That's serviceable. That's a pretty good top 6, in my opinion. After that, Jeff Carter, is he going to have 18 to 20 goals next year? Teddy Bluger, Bronk McGinn, Kasperi Kapanen's going to be down there. Then potentially Radim Zahorna, Drew O'Connor. They got to get another finisher. I know Ron Hextall can say what he wants. He's comfortable with the depth. Yeah, he also said that before he went out and traded a bunch of futures for Rickard Rakell. So I'm not going to sit here and take him at face value. It's a process. It's a process. Teams, they always like to play things close to the vest. This is not Jim Rutherford over here who is going to have you sit on his lap and he's going to tell you what his plan is. That Ron is not like that. So 2 more months till training camp, a long ways to go. I do not think the roster you're seeing right now is going to be the same roster you see at training camp. I think they're going to make another move or 2 it forward. They basically have to. I'm not comfortable with the team's bottom 6 right now. I think I'm getting a lot of 2015 vibes right now. So overall, I'll say this, again, the defensive core is better right now than where it was when the season ended. Definitely, a weird couple moves, to say the least, but when I look at them together, not one by one, I understand what Hextall is going for here. And again, I don't think he's done. So that'll do it for this quick little video for the Locked On Penguins YouTube channel. A little about I'm looking at right now, about 12 minutes. So I'm gonna have a full episode for you all on Monday, really breaking down these acquisitions, getting into more of the underlying numbers and all that stuff. So look for that in a couple of days. Again, thank you all so much for watching this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'm gonna put this on my Twitter too. Let me know there. And I'll see you all for the next one.